surprised to see the Renata. I do like the combo of the Renata and the Draven. That can be a pretty fun lane down in the bottom side. And also there are a lot of champions from OMG that are looking to jump in. That ulti, that hostile takeover.
OMG challenges, not really, because Rio is all the way in Narnia on the top side, just clearing out his camps. But that is level 6 acquired and the first dragon of the game for LGD.
So losing out onto that flash, having as much of a push top lane at the point at which those grubs were taking. There was no reason for you to go too aggressive, Starry.
TongYuan, if he can tank it up first and give the cash over to Xiaoye, beautifully executed. First blood and the cash in goes over to Xiaoye's Draven.
And Haichao didn't even arrive. Did he get his teleport cancelled on through as well? Really unfortunate. And the fact that they now get 2, it's going to put so much extra pressure on OMG to try to compete around this Drake. Now, we still haven't gotten to see a full team fight at the moment. Harry and Sasa not interested whatsoever in getting involved. Instead, it was TongYuan stepping up.
The fact that they had 2 in the mid lane pushing, and Harry pushing on the top lane. We've got Rift Herald about halfway through, hits health bar. 3k HP, Hong now sees it. Can they look for a steal? Glacial Fissure breaks open the fight. Hong secures the Rift Herald away from OMG, but can anyone pick up the eye? Everyone from OMG is stepping on top of it to make sure that it goes down so that no one can summon the Herald later on. The bot side that TongYuan was unlocked with thanks to Hong getting aggressive in the jungle. Also, takeover is at the ready. Jump in from Rio, splits them apart. Hostile takeover, snags on the 2. Rio and Moham trying to kill each other as they are forced to flash away. Now Sasa is in the fray, looking to cut them down with the needlework. Haichao separating one on the right side.
What is this fight?
Flash to get out. The fight is completely split apart. Rio's the first casualty in the fight, and now OMG are trying to run down Xiaoye and prevent a cash-in from coming out. Harry has completely split off the Draven, and there will be no money left saved up for LGD's AD carry to cash in, but Hong is able to blast Haichao back to the fountain with a bonk stick. And now Harry in a 1v3. Can he make a miracle happen? He's forced to retreat. The flash empowered rune prison from TongYuan will put an end to the Ambessa's reign. But now a new challenger potentially approaches in Moham's Braum. But he doesn't have smite, so there's no chance in trying to yoink this one away. It's 3 dragons to LGD in game 1 of this series.
Right here. And oh boy, this Yanara is now looking pretty strong. Starry is now in a pretty good position to be able to take over the game if he feels like he can with those Fiend Hunter bolts. Obviously, synergizes incredibly well with the ulti. Ryu looking for something a little bit sneaky right here, a little bit of a lane gank. Sasa does have a lot of damage and survivability available to him though, and just about gonna wander back down. Oh no.
He doesn't know. Oh no, Sasa does have a flash available. Okay, well, he just runs to the right side.
Skip and slash, apparently, was all that was really needed to be able to get Sasa back away from this fight. And this has been the problem for OMG that we have seen. As much as Rio looked really good on the Vi during the early game, he wasn't actually particularly impressive in the early stages of the game on this.
Front-to-back fights are not really in our favor, especially when we're down this much gold. Let's just try and split individuals and isolate them for our carries to jump onto. Just like with YCX, he does get tagged with the full Braum passive. Rio jumps in, crescent guard, but the hostile takeover well-timed, and it allows YCX to live. But Xiaoye doesn't collect on another cash-in from Rio's body, as he's able to sidestep the second part of that whirling death.
We'll take this fight in a couple of seconds' time. Has been really important so far. We've seen also YCX, getting that plop on the teleport onto Haichao. He's overall played himself a very competent
nearly down
top lane.
4.5 thousand gold. Yeah, I mean, LGD know that OMG are the ones forced to try and steal the dragon or deny the dragon soul away from them.
TP.
We're TPing in this fight,
really?
Okay. That's cool. I thought you would just want to continue pushing on the top side, but LGD want to try and finish this game right here, right now, off of this fight. Rio pops the crescent guard. Glacial Fissure hits no one, but it does split up the fight even more. Hostile takeover only tags 1. Great use of the shield by Moham to block that for the rest of the team. Haichao looks for the play. Ember's Divide running to Hong, but the Cyclone isn't the answer. He's the first casualty. The rest of OMG trying to continue playing through Story and Haichao as he is eliminated, and so is Story. Here comes Sasa and Xiaoye ready to cash on in. Triple kill for TongYuan as he once again leads LGD to victory and sends Rio packing.
Tangyuan just dealing the damage right there during the fight, managing to land so many bounces through. Also just going to teleport himself up to the top side and make sure that Rio will go down. That does leave Sasa a little bit vulnerable right here, just about going to be able to jump away. I think Rio's going to give them a bit of a runaround right now. It doesn't matter, you're going to lose a mid lane tower for this. Now you can peel back as Xiaoya.
Cash in?
It's wasting time, but I mean, I don't think you care.
At some point, LGD might just say, guys, is it worth it to chase this Xin Zhao across the map?
Well, think about when he dies. There's a Baron up, and he's going to be dead now for a long time.
The rest of OMG are trying to book it to the top side just to establish vision control, because you have to know that this will be the next objective that LG look at without a jungler for 42 seconds, but...
Decision.
Xiaoya's got to be a little careful. No flash available. Still a cleanse, but if he gets swooped in by an Emperor's Divide, it will not matter. Everyone from LGD is in the pit. Public execution does not land because he used the stasis to block it. Baron secured. Can they fight out of the pit? The Emperor's Divide onto 3, but Haichao is the only one that can hit. He takes out Tang Yuen, but now has to rely on Harry and Starry to clean up the rest. OMG have to rally behind their 2 remaining carries. Rio's back from the grave, but Xiaoya gets another cash in, picks up the double, and I think LGD are running away with this one.
Well, they're going to get themselves, I say out. Rio still hunting, still looking for a potential final kill. Xiaoya kind of caught right here. He's got the Baron empowered recall.
W?
No!
Oh my goodness! Okay, well, Rio is going to put an end to Xiaoya's reign on the Draven.
They are in control at the moment. You have got all of the gold, all of the kills exactly where you want it to be right now. And they've also got as much control over this Drake pit as they want.
They're pushing into LGD, which could be a great position for YCX to unleash his ultimate. Will Moham use the shield preemptively? He's also trying to threaten on the left. 3k HP on the dragon right now. Wind becomes lightning, brings it 2k. Hostile takeover, right on Haichao, tries to flash away. Rio does secure the dragon and deny soul point once again. Moham is trying to make sure that he can protect his backline, but Starry is all the way in Narnia. How did he get over there? Tang Yuen will try to run him down, and Haichao has made it clear out of the fight because he was chunked to bits. Starry, no way he gets out.
He's out.
That is
He's
crazy. Somebody cue the Yakety Sax theme, because Haichao TP's back in the mid lane, ensures that his bot laner is safe. Harry joins the fray, so does Moham. The public execution on the Tang Yuen, and not even a bailout will save him this time. OMG, deny soul again, shore up the gold deficit, and they're pushing through mid.
Yeah, I mean, there's long death timers right now. 20 seconds until Xiaoya is going to be back up and available. 15 until Sasa. I don't think they're going to be able to end right here. But what a swing in this game. OMG, they weather the early game storm. They come back from the deficit in Drakes. And they're going to get themselves into a controlling position in this game.
Holy moly, Blockster. This is bonkers.
This is what happens. Have any way to be able to keep him alive beyond YCX sitting there with a hostile takeover. Now, that has worked for them so far. It isn't a plan that can't have fruit, but
Rio
I mean,
has
this
GA,
could just
so
happen.
he can just go in with the impunity, and Xiaoya, the main gold advantage has been dropped. Sasa goes in, dodges the Emperor's Divide with the W, but he can't dodge the rest of the damage coming in from OMG. 2 carries eliminated from...
Unable to protect onto your ADC. And like I said, that's just going to be a Baron going straight on over right here for OMG. Not particularly strong, but his late game drive to just go in. He only has a forwards button on his keyboard, and he presses it consistently. I really like the way he's been playing it. It looks like they're going to go again right here underneath this bot lane tier 3 tower. These 2 Baron-empowered cannon minions are making short work of the tower, and this game may very soon be over.
Yep. First inhibitor turret and first inhibitor of the game finally breached, and it's for OMG, not the team that had the 8,000 gold lead just 10 minutes ago. OMG now on the precipice of winning game 1 of this series, putting themselves one step closer to qualifying for Knight's rivals and making a run to the playoffs. Haichao and Harry being the ones to step up and poke out Tang Yuen away from the rest of his team. Quick flash from Hong, looks for the Cyclone. Emperor's Divide is thrown out, tries to create space. Haichao is eliminated, but OMG still have 4 members strong. Starry is pushing through the Nexus turrets. Hostile takeover, complete whip, only hits onto Harry. Rio knocks up one onto Xiaoya, puts the Draven behind, and he can't do enough to save this game. game. OMG, take game 1.
A little bit of interest up in the top lane. Can push the Sion around just a little bit, but this might also draw these junglers up towards the top lane, when previously I would have thought they would have very much wanted to be looking bot lane.
I wouldn't be against Hong trying to play through this Rek'Sai lane and give him an advantage. However, Rio, oh, look at this. Red buff into cross and catches Tong Yuan against the wall. Oh my goodness, just give him the MVP already of the series. Rio giving Haichao first blood. Neither jungler are level 6, but that favors Rio a lot more since Hong would really love to have cease and desist to make a play for this dragon. Bot lane comes up from OMG. Good seismic shove prevents Tong Yuan from getting jumped on. Is still 1400 HP on the dragon. They go in on that? Oh no, Hong pays for it dearly. YCX and Xiaoya are just gonna get run down, and my goodness, blocks her. The first move that LGD makes of the game ends in complete disaster.
Champions? I mean, the person that did the most damage in that team fight for LGD was the Drake. The Drake nearly kills Rio. Nobody from LGD does.
And Sasa now has the flash? Oh boy. These things are... Well, LGD in for a penny, in for the whole thing, and might as well just repeat the visit onto the bot side now that you knew that the Ashe had no flash. See and desist at least set up the play, and you know what? Credit to LGD, they're not going to let...
Playable for him.
Xiaoya steps up forward. Great use of the cleanse on the arrow. And Tong Yuan wants to follow up, knowing that there is no flash. Tidal wave off the seismic shove. Beautiful setup by LGD. But can they deal with the teleport? Great bubble onto Haichao's entrance. He's forced to use the ultimate just to run away. He had to pop the flash just so he wasn't in the cease and desist range.
Oh boy, that's a real turnaround right here from LGD. As much as that first play from him was bad, they're looking much better. Haichao.
Hung is gonna send it. Haichao gets flicked back. Wait a minute, Bloxer. LGD completely persistent and not letting go.
What did we say during the early walk away?
Fair play? Fair play? Just go.
There's 0 universes in which going for that would have been a good decision for LGD, just like the previous time out, and they learned from their mistakes. Not going to be able to walk this one away. YCX,
Great arrow onto the fish, and the Grand Starfall is far enough that he can look for YCX even after the flash, and Xiaoya gets caught by the Encore. There is Between Worlds from Haichao. Xiaoya manages to at least trade with a stray rocket into the back of Starry, but Hong now looking for the follow from Tong Yuan if he can get a rage. Cease and desist. It's not going to be in time. Tong Yuan now in trouble as he's able to speed on out thanks to his skates.
You have to win the Vision War already, otherwise you're definitely going to fall behind.
There's a control ward from OMG in the pit, so they see LGD starting it up. Arrow looks for Xiaoya. He does have the cleanse, finally uses it just to make sure he's not in range of Rio's stun. TP. He has Tong Yuan behind him. TP is coming in. Hong steps up, takes a lot of damage. Rio on the wrong side with the shield, gets knocked up at the cease and desist. The jungler's the first one to fall. Story is next. LGD make 2 quick picks, and that should be the Rift Herald secured.
Oh, the shield being the wrong way. I don't know that Rio's able to survive either, even if it's going the right way, but that definitely leaves him vulnerable. And I absolutely love thinking that it's going to happen, being like, oh, we can take this Rift Herald in, but Tong Yuan was never really going to be able to. Still, and going to start this one up.
Arrow goes in, Tidal Wave breaks open the fight. Hung does secure the dragon, denies third away from OMG, but Between Worlds causes a lot of commotion, but Haichao gets dropped anyway. Decent knocker from Sasa onto the front line, but Starry can still fire away with these arrows. Hung finds his moment, cease and desist into the Tulia combo. There it is! Well synchronized from the LGD core, and now Xiaoya gets the pepper in these rockets one after another. It doesn't matter how tanky you are, Harry, because you've got no more damage dealers behind you. LGD, massive win on the third dragon.
And that looked like such a risky fight right there for LGD. You're going in a little bit split, not fully together, but it doesn't matter in the end. The fact they're able to get themselves away with the Drake as well is critical. Now Tong Yuan lands himself a great seismic shove, and now Ryu might be the one in trouble.
You have to walk into darkness, and you have to use your tools correctly to make sure that you're not getting one of your key members blown up by the pick composition.
Oh. They go in for this fight. Okay, just about enough space gonna be available for the OMG members to run.
Tidal Wave, parts OMG members, but no one is really in danger. It just guarantees that LGD walks away after taking the tier 1 turret.
And that tier 1 turret, they couldn't get it with the Rift Herald, but they are just about going to be able to. This objective teleport now going to come in from OMG. They're looking to respond.
Xiaoya is on a control ward. He's got to be careful. Okay, he takes the blast cone, but Harry
no.
is now alongside him. There's no Valkyrie available. They're trying to beat up on Harry right now. Two-man decimating smash into the encore, but the tidal wave is great response. Haichao trying to eliminate Sasa on the right side, but he goes invulnerable with the Void Rush. Still dies anyway. Rio goes forward. Xiaoya Valks in. Oh, he's playing with fire on that one, but he has the full confidence of his team.
What? What? No!
No! Haichao! Don't tell Cubby! OMG now starting to fall to pieces, but now it's up to Star and Harry to turn this fight around. It's a 3v4. Xiaoya looking critically low. They go back in. Decimating smash connects. Harry can land the slow. Hung tries to protect his bot laner from falling. The volley connects, and they're slowed. Hung will be sacrificed so that Xiaoya can make it out alive, but OMG can now secure the third dragon for themselves.
The remaining members of OMG bail Haichao out. They're going to be able to pick themselves up this soul point in a messy, bloody fight. But Starry does just enough to be able to slow up the members, landing as many volleys as possible, and it makes it impossible to reposition mid-fight.
Barely dodged another stray rocket coming out, this time not falling to Xiaoya in the trade. Hong says, we are killing this Seraphine. Cease and desist already used, and Sasa easily able to follow up. There is no more encore available for OMG since they already used it as well. And now Rio and Haichao might be in danger in a 5 versus 2 dive, but the minion wave is killed off, and OMG maybe have a little bit of time to stall for, but the next minion wave is coming in fast, and Starry cannot join with his teammates because he's being cut off by the rest of LGD. Rio chunked out. Rio is completely blown out. And Haichao on the other side trying to link up with Harry, but Hung has found this Aurora. There's no flash available for Haichao, but Hung already used the cease and desist. Haichao might get a chance to get out alive, but now Harry is completely isolated in a 1v4, and unfortunately for him, he's just a tank, and this meatball will get no value whatsoever. And Haichao does manage to survive.
It's Baron. Look at where this fight lands. You end up having multiple members going down.
I'm in the position of OMG. You are grateful that you secured a third dragon for yourself, because you can always just wait for the Baron buff to expire. Oh no, Rio! Rio! Oh no,
Oh,
Rio! Oh no! I'm so sorry, King. The flash into the wall was unfortunately caught in 4K, and you're gonna have to live that memory down if this ends up going to game 3.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, knowing observers in the LPL, we may well get a cinematic replay of that one. For right now, the push is going to continue on, and now without the threat of the Grand Starfall, it means there's so much less pick potential from this OMG composition. They've got push going on in the mid lane, they've got push going on in the top lane, and right now this Baron at power play is going to net them a huge increase of gold.
Rio's not up for another 20
Anything
seconds.
OMG can do to jump forwards whilst this Baron buff is still running. 10 seconds until this one falls back off again, and then as OMG you are unlocked to try to play the game once again. Oh boy, in what was a game that looked OMG favoured for a little bit, it has completely flipped on its head.
Yeah, that's the second dragon over in LGD's pocket. The extra mana and HP sustain.
As OMG you are unlocked to try to play the game once again. Oh boy, in what was a game that looked OMG favoured for a little bit, it has completely flipped on its head.
Yeah, that's the second dragon over in LGD's pocket. The extra mana and HP sustain does at least allow them to survive any meaningful poke that OMG would try to hurl their way.
Maybe 2 wards that I can see for OMG. They will be walking into complete and utter darkness. They're very much going to be reliant right here on the Hawk Shot to give them that little bit of vision they need. And it might not matter.
From Tung Yuen tags Rio and clips him with the seismic shove. GA is about to be expended. Can anyone from OMG save the jungler? Cease and desist will be used on Rio. Hung goes in. His GA is popped. Haichao creates a lot of damage, but Xiao is still fairly healthy. The rest of OMG trying to stand behind Harry for now.
They've done it.
They trade junglers 1 for 1 so far. It's a 4 versus 4. It's not a bad look for OMG so far. Rest of LGD maintains space and control. But for the rest of OMG, it's not the worst scenario that could have happened.
No, that's it. But Hung is just stopped dead in his tracks. But more importantly, over on the backside of the map, Xiaoyu, YCX, Tangyuan, they all stopped being able to hit for just a split second.
Back to live? YCX forced to flash away. Tidal Wave will clip Harry as the seismic shove and bubble also connect. But Harry's way too tanky to die off of that first rotation. Saucer with a great flame! And he and Hong split up the fight. Starry is the first one to fall. Rio will be next. Hari will be third. And Haichao cannot bail out his top lane. LGD are ready to take this series the full distance. Bloxer with all 5 still alive. They can push in for a game 2 win.
And we talked about what needed to happen in this game for LGD to be able to come out on top. They needed to find themselves a couple picks. They needed some sniper accuracy out of Tangyuan to be able to hit as many of those seismic shoves as possible. And it has been a really good look from him. LGD pushing forwards onto the base. It will be one final game to decide who makes it out of Group Nirvana and who's sitting out.
Haichao, one last Hail Mary attempt to blow up the minion wave. Encore comes out. It's a whiff. The first Nexus turret falls, followed quickly by the second. LGD take game 2. Gone for in any instance. I think Syndra's great because you have so much physical damage. You have an overwhelming amount of physical damage. And if you didn't pick a mid laner that felt super
lacking in overall CC as LGD. You've got yourself a lot of slows, but in terms of easy to hit stuns and knockups, a lot less of those.
Xiaoyu? Bone Skewer tags him. Deadly Flourish does not connect though. Xiaoyu is still completely fine, does not pop the flash or the barrier. Dragon already at 2500. Can Rio get in? He's right on top of the dragon. They pull in YCX. What's the target selection? Where are we going? Are we doing the dragon? Are we looking for the kill? LGD secure the first dragon, but YCX is the first one to drop in its first blood, going over to Starry's Jin. One more bullet in the chamber. Flashes for Hong. Gets dropped by Xiaoyu in the cross, but he goes down anyway, and it's a double for this pick. Definitely been the most exciting that I have been for him on this OMG roster. Looking to corral the members of LGD, and Steadfast Presence used way too early. Flash for the Cataclysm into the Scatter the Weak stun. Hung doesn't get a chance to use the Keeper's Verdict. Here comes the curtain call, looking for more members. Xiaoyu getting slowed up, takes one more bullet, but pulled back in. Wait a minute, Xiaoyu, did he fly back in? That's crazy. He doesn't get punished for that.
He had to step a little bit further forwards, otherwise he was going to get knocked up by the flag and drag, just about going to be able to get away, but still OMG grabbed themselves
of these grubs. No chance for OMG to even pick up the third one. It's all 3 going over to LGD.
They've had control over these objectives. YCX does get pulled back into the Scatter the Weak. Okay, good thing that Unleash power was not available the way that the Caitlyn works. I'm surprised to see it first, though. A lot of people have been grabbing it a little bit later on in the builds.
Sasa might be the first to die here. Oh, well timed on the Pathfinder.
Oh, he gets a kill back.
Oh, no! Sasa outplays Rio's Jarvan engage.
There we go.
With his front line, just to make sure that there's at least one tool. Moham flash into the undertow. Xiaoyu immediately flashes it. Here comes the TP. Curtain call, looking for multiple bullets. Fourth one does connect on the Hung for minimal damage. Harry now threatening as he's into the pit. Tries to force Hung out and away from the Rift Herald.
Oh, the damage.
Right behind, and they can secure this Rift Herald. Do they not have Smite? Okay, well, Harry kills YCX in the back line, and Haichao does secure the Rift Herald. Guess Smite was down for Rio. That could have been scary for OMG, but now the rest of them just need to make sure that they can get away. Sasa cannot look for the engage since Moham pulls him away from Starry with that Bone Skewer.
Just about gonna save the life of his ADC right there. Moham still stepping up, trying to just clear through this wave. And in the end, we have a look back at what ends up happening. Rift Herald does get picked up by OMG.
There an immediate Serpent's Fang rush, but they might feel confident enough that they're so far ahead. They do not fear the shields coming out from YCX's Karma yet. Might just be looking for an Umbral Glaive, the Shadow Flame. Extra penetration, knowing that LGD are forced to mostly build armor for this heavy physical damage composition. Oh, great bump by Rio! The flag and drag! Outplayed, unfortunately hung, but Rio just showing how good his Jarvan mechanics are. Sasa comes into the fight, but it's a 1v4, forced to flash away from another flag and drag, and there's the Cataclysm to lock this Cassante down. Dodges out of the Scatter the Weak stun. He is so tanky.
He's so
because
tanky.
LGD cannot get quite in just yet. Tonga finally finds an angle, but the Grim Deliverance over the top continues to push LGD back. There's the all-out. Sasa has one last chance to turn this fight around. The Pathfinder will not be enough to break open the fight for LGD. OMG pick up 2 kills, and there's nothing for LGD to get. He dodged so many other abilities beforehand, and crucially, a majority of the damage that he dodged out was from Haichao Syndra. So the fact that he's able to get so much value off of the early armor rush into essentially a 4 AD damage carry composition, it is going to provide a lot of value as long as he's able to space out the Syndra damage but OMG roster. But this game could lead to a Knights Rivals run into playoffs for OMG, and it would really turn his story around. Gives them brief vision of that river entrance. It has been stuffed out by OMG. Harry continuing to put split push pressure on the bottom side.
Catch waves over in the side, does indeed go and match Harry onto this side lane. And you saw in that fight as well, Tango was stepping up to a couple of members and dealing big damage. He's going to drop the Arcane Storm. He has Xiaoya with him.
They don't know Xiaoya until now, but Harry has to call for the rest of OMG. You need to force a play somewhere.
There's
he
the
flashes
stacks.
right on top of Xiaoya. Grim
He's got the
Deliverance
stacks.
has the full stack.
Oh, he
No,
doesn't.
he's not quite there. Big shutdown going over to Xiaoya's pockets on the
Once
cape.
he puts down, or just into that curtain call. You're giving your team something else. But right now, not being able to quickly threaten onto a Baron is hurting OMG.
Oh, Flash Cataclysm engaged. Phantom Undertow
No!
lands onto the front line. Oh, Hong is the first one to drop. They take out another one next, and YCX Xiaoya is under fire, and they pull Sasa out of the curtain call bullet. OMG! Just eliminated 3, and Sasa will try to do everything he can to save this series and to save LGD's split, but I don't think it's enough, Bloxer.
Again, so good at just pulling the trigger, finding the engage, and they're going to be able to turn this one around. Baron at pick up right here, and there's not even going to be a response from LGD over onto the Drake. They can take their recalls, come back out onto the map with the fast resets you get because of the Hex Tech.
Let the game just end off of a fight over Hex Tech Soul. They're going to have to dig deep if they want to continue their split and make a out of the Cataclysm. It's an ulti for ulti. Cassante will not be nearly as strong in the next upcoming fight if OMG continue to push.
Is he going to come back? I mean, you get a tower for that. You lose out onto a tower and your inhibitor, but I guess that is gold. And actually, he's going to stick around. Really bold right here from somebody without a teleport.
Oh, look at the damage from Haichao Syndra! One shot onto the support, one shot onto the jungler, and now Tongyuan, oh, it's Sasa trying to TP in and cut off the minion wave and buy even more time for LGD. Tongyuan did manage to pick up a death cap, but will it be the saving grace for LGD without your jungler and support for another 30 seconds? It's hard to believe, and OMG are ready to take this series and continue their path into Knights Rivals. The first Nexus turret is gonna get dropped. Xiaoya and Tongyuan are trying to hold the line, but it's a quick flash from Starry, not even needing the 4th bullet to execute his opponent. Tongyuan sidesteps the Scatter the Weak stun, but you can't sidestep this loss. OMG, win the series. Particular reminding us why he was considered the best support in LPL for quite a period of time, especially during the BLG peak of 2024. But Arha, after gaming, want to join them, and they want to knock down BLG a peg. If Schwinn makes a gank on the bot side, the magical journey. Hello, old friend. Unfortunately, it's a gank against you, and Schwinn picks up first blood.
Yeah, there was no ward to be able to spot that out, and on key steps.
Definitely thought that BLG were about to send another magical journey over the wall. They're gonna do it anyway. Double cosmic binding lands, and Arha unfortunately assists in the play for BLG, giving Elk another death.
Kind of this very high octane jungler who wants to help out the bot lane, wants to get around the map. JJ actually does have the 2nd highest KP of all junglers, so he really wants to make sure that he is the guy. So it really puts emphasis on needing to have a solid early to mid game here for Elk, and so far it's not a solid early game as Zika. Oh boy.
Well, Schwinn was left behind, didn't get to ride with the Uber. Zika manages to flash away, still has public execution if they want to re-engage under the tower. And, I don't know if BLG intended to leave the Xin Zhao behind, but Schwinn notices that Jijia just uses Vault Breaker, forced to flash over the wall. He follows it up, sees him assist, buys some time. Zika, does he have public execution available? It's actually already been used, and On ensures that Jijia goes down first, but it's traded back. And Zika gets the shutdown onto the Xin Zhao. Arha now trying to lock up On. There's no magical journey for him to escape. Zenith Blade will connect. Zika needs to be able to get in range to start using his abilities. Xiaohu, can he join over the wall? Yes, he can. The shifting sands.
And very cautious about where they step. Xiaohu's not, though.
Oh, Xiaohu doesn't quite find the angle and now forced to use the Emperor's Divide just to push them away, but doesn't find anything. Forced to flash over the wall. Knight will follow thanks to the magical journey. The quick flash from On for the Cosmic Binding Slow and the Empowered Room Prison. Knight will say, thank you very much, Tiger. I'll take that kill. The mid lane has Equalizer ready. Already past level 13, so that Equalizer being rank 2 is going to hurt a lot as long as they can get the lockdown prepped up for it. Tempered Fate goes wide. Elk sidesteps it. Bin is locked down by the Leona CC. Public execution on top. Bin flashes away to reposition. On is the first one to drop. Schwinn answers back. The Equalizer's great, but it's not that much damage coming through. Knight finally steps up and looks to turn it around, but Xiaohu is right on his tail. The flash from Elk looking for Schwinn as he flashes out of the piercing arrow's range, but Weibo Gaming have control, and they will deny the third dragon away from BLG.
Crucially, gets taken down way too low. He can't continue the fight, has to burn his flash as well. And so BLG just without any real
to cover his little Tiger, make sure that he's not going down. Emperor's Divide. Does he not know that everyone else is here? Oh no, Xiaohu went for the play.
Good
the
flash.
Equalizer goes completely wide. Good flash
No
by
way.
Xiaohu, as you called. Zika with the public execution. Tempered Fate will hold him into stasis. He cannot follow up. Things looked incredibly dicey for both teams at various points, but it ends up with no one going down.
Yup. I mean, it started off rough there from Xiaohu, as now BLG are looking to go back in.
Going back in with the Realm Warp. Knight has a free access to Xiaohu on the right side. The rest of Weibo Gaming are forced off by the Crescent Guard. Xiaohu gets dropped. Arha will go next, and BLGs try to rally around through Knight's rise. And just like that, Quacks, it's been a little bit messy, but BLG are tenacious, trying to push their advantage forward. Bin gets snagged by the Chain of Corruptions, but El gets dropped! He didn't have flash from the fight prior! Zika will trade on to Bin, but now there's no one else to defend this Mbessa from saving the turret, from saving his own life. They're juggling the turret aggro, but they finally take out the turret damage, and now there's nowhere else for Zika to run. He's trying to use his passive and the Drake Hound stance to make his grand escape, but it only ends up being a one-way trip.
Onto Weibo, and it just doesn't feel like they have the health bars necessary to fight back. Not to mention, Varus is super late to rejoin this fight as we're going back to live.
I remember this spot was detrimental to BLG, but they're the ones that get the first trap sprung onto Xiaohu and Jeje. And with a clean execution on both the jungle and mid lane, and the Baron is up, this could be a free Baron for BLG.
Have a chance at being able to contest this. You can see Zika is on the bot side. We'll be able to get this turret, but it's a consolation prize at best right now, Rafa. BLG are running over this game with unrelenting aggression, and it's going to get a whole lot worse. All of them kind of on a timer to make things happen. You can see they're looking for a cross map onto this top side. Just try and get some gold into these carries that desperately need it, so that when the soul rolls around in about 5 minutes time, they'll be better prepared. But I feel like it is still super difficult because there's a lot of standing gold on the map. There's still all tier 2s currently alive, so BLG can collect those with the Baron empowered minions.
Yeah, and now BLG have full control of this bottom jungle quadrant at the cost of losing a little bit of their top side, but these are the consolation prizes they are happy to give over, considering that Weibo Gaming don't really have any other choice in trying to fight BLG head on. Behind their backline to make sure that BLG cannot immediately jump on top of them. Solar Flare onto Knight. Cease and desist will follow up. The rest of BLG have to run. Emperor's Divide onto the golden left hand. He flashes to the right side. He makes it out alive, and Bin has teleported to the play. Knight's Realm Warp will reposition them on the left side, dodging out from Xiaohu's flank. And now BLG will run the rest of Weibo Gaming back to their second tier turret.
And BLG, another fight win now, will be able to take down that second tier turret that you mentioned, Rafa. And it felt like a little bit of a disjointed engage there from Weibo because
and if they're able to carry this momentum forward, Viper, flash and a cleanser available.
Good
Temper Fate will
Fate.
stall this pick for now. Flash to the left. Arcane shifts backwards, and Schwinn makes the difference with the space. Knight is now the next target, but he cancels Jedge's ulti with the stasis. Emperor's Divide doesn't push him all the way back. It was into the wall. He still goes down. Can Viper clean out this fight? Sitka onto the backline, eliminates both carries, but Bin on, and Schwinn can still press the engage forward. And it's only their former teammate left alive on the side of Weibo Gaming. It might not be enough for BLG to push in for the end, but there is still a Baron to play for.
And unironically, Mark, that might have been Weibo's most successful engage this game so far because they look on tonight.
Because it looked kind of weird that Knight didn't get pushed all the way through with the Emperor's Divide, but
It was a little weird.
it was definitely strange. But at the end of the day, Weibo still knocked down Knight and gave him his first death of the game, and the result is still
a
the
little
same.
bit further, have his back, and are able to reinforce him if things get a little bit dicey. That Baron buff is also still active, so they can continue the siege onto the outskirts of Weibo's base. I'm curious if there's going to be a trigger pull by either side, because I believe this Baron buff still has a minute and a half, so yeah, this turret is gone. If Weibo want to try and save their inhibitor, I feel like they're going to have to be the ones that pull the trigger, but we've seen it so many times, Rafa. It's really difficult to pull the trigger effectively against this BLG comp with how tanky even their backline is at this point.
Yep. No flash, no cleanse, no problem. Viper can still survive with an arcane shift and the items that he has gone for, giving him extra durability. I didn't see if he got the Endless Hunger yet, but if he does, I mean, the Omnivan is so oppressive to deal with in a kit like this Ezreal. BLG have quickly done away with the inhibitor turret on the bot side. They move mid. Temper Fate does not land on Weibo Gaming, but it does push them back momentarily. Get some procs onto the plate. Solar Flare onto Bin. Chain of Corruptions, but good use of the Mikhails from On to save his top laner from any follow-up. The next minion wave pushes in. The inhibitor turret should fall on this push. The bot inhibitor is also suspect to dying. Rest of BLG being very clean in their siege and methodical. The type of play that BLG fans want to see for this 2026 roster.
Yep, double inhibitor, and now you can see the wave in top is stacking, is pushing, so they're going to look for a triple inhib. Weibo have to scramble to try and save that part, but look at the rest of the lanes. I mean, the minion wave is seeping in from the bot side. The mid lane wave is also pushed, and Bid as a flank.
The call is coming from inside the house. Bin with the equalizer cuts off their retreat path, and the rest of BLG can just swarm on in. Flamethrower turned up to 11 and burns down Arha, and the rest of BLG will put game one to rest, and they will now advance to match point in this series.
Elk waving hello to his former teammates from inside the base because he can do not much else. His old support going to keep him company in the fountain with his dead body.
That maybe you wanted something that could be a little bit more aggressive early on, but because a lot of those prime early game jungler options were not available.
Yeah, he isn't looking for a 1-for-1 trade. He's looking for a 2-for-1 trade, but he gets spotted on a ward, and On is looking for a flank potentially onto him.
As soon as Knight moves, you know something's coming, and On commits the flash to make sure that he can get the headbutt pulverized. Didn't even need to use the flash. My mistake. It's just BLG punishing an overextended JJ.
And Xiaohu is walking up as well. His support is behind him, and On doesn't really have reinforcements, so there's no possible re-aggression coming out here from BLG, but it felt like a bit of greed there from JJ to try and look for those Raptors, steal something back in return, and he ends up getting punished for it because of that ward placed on the bot side mid-bush. No, like you said, summoners needing to be expended, so just a quick little pick-me-up for
And we
Viper.
still have the first roam over to the Dragon. And Shin cannot get in unless he flashes. Oh my goodness, that was a big gamble. He does not get the Dragon. Jet does secure it. Heroic entrance from Knight allows him to reposition with the rest of his team, and Weibo are now trying to threaten for a re-engage in the river. Oh, flash from On! Right into the taunt! What an alley-oop from BLG's mid-support combo! The rest of Weibo Gaming Gaming are forced to retreat.
I feel like Weibo had no right overstepping their bounds to try and look for a re-engage. On didn't use any of his engage tools.
Leash power, but Xiaohu only has a lost chapter. Not that much damage behind the full combo. JJ wants to step up. Darkened Blade 1. Already used 2. Rolled Ender.
Okay.
Elk pops the Killer Instinct, looking for his former jungler, and yep, Elk will be able to get his first kill of the game, and Weibo Gaming find an entry.
As Shun is looking again onto bot lane.
There's no flash on this Nico, but man, another great Tangle Barbs, and Elk saying, yeah, nice try, bro. Try again.
Oh,
On definitely will try again. There's another thumbs up as Elk is forced to flash away from the headbutt pulverized combo. Heroic entrance over the top just to guarantee the dive goes well. And Elk is really appreciating all the fans coming to the bot lane saying, listen, I can sign autographs all day if you want.
Visage is so good at being able to tank up any of the punish that Syndra brings down on you, but it will allow him to be a little bit more threatening with those pick tools on the Scatter the Weak and toward that backline with his ult.
So much. Oh, on with another pulverized flash onto a flashless JJ, and Knight is right there to follow up on the play. The taunt scatters Weibo Gaming members. Arha forces the pop blossom for a re-engage. Elk is back into the fray with the Killer Instinct. They're able to trade one. Can Xiaohu look for On while Knight forces Elk back? On finally pops the Unchained. And now On is trying to use this damage reduction to bait Xiaohu in for another pick from Knight. Decent damage out. This is a Hollow Radiance rush, by the way, and still this thing packs a wallop behind it.
Yeah, but they're going to be able to disengage, get away from Knight's Galio, and the supports having a little bit of a competition of their own in Mark, seeing who can get the one. Looking to maybe try and get one for game number 2 here, as now he is just completely guarding this dragon entrance.
Scatter the Weak, but he uses the headbutt pulverized combo to get out of the Infernal Chains. The rogue entrance for another knockup, and JJ, his world is gone. And the rest of Weibo Gaming don't have a jungler to use anymore to contest for this dragon. BLG should be easily able to secure it.
Yeah, JJ is having a lot of struggles on this Aatrox jungle so far, just because it's so difficult to walk into this area.
Oh, great Scatter the Weak, though, from Xiaohu, and flashing away. Unleashed Power says goodnight to Shun, and Elk picks up the kill. But a flash from Knight, 3-man taunt into the Justice Punch, but no one can get through the choke. And Arha with the Pop Blossom doesn't hit anyone, but it prevents BLG from being able to follow up on the play. Always a great attempt for Knight, but Weibo Gaming hold their formation strong, and they're looking for the follow-up. On gets dropped. Xiaohu picks it up. Elk is able to get his revenge on the Viper, and Knight is forced to flee.
And Knight looking to run away. Xiaohu is going to be able to catch up, but he's face-checking. You're face-checking, Xiaohu, no!
Oh boy, Knight gets the better end of the old man in the mid lane, saying, all right, Tiger, get back down. Grubs have been split 2-1 for BLG favored. Dragon split apart 1-1. We even get a replay of what happened topside. What happened topside?
So, Bin. Oh no! Oh no!
Shout out to Dokla, 100 Thieves. BLG. Heroic entrance over to join up with On and Viper. Here comes the unstoppable onslaught from Zitka. Decent taunt from Knight, but he is isolated from the rest of his team because everyone's trying to dogpile onto the Rift Herald. Well, you might as well commit if you drop your mid laner like that, and they do end up getting it anyway, but the rest of Weibo Gaming are going to try to push into mid-tier 1, get as many plates as they can before BLG regroup.
And crucially, JJ manages to survive in that fight as well. On the spoiler alert, it has not been pretty. JJ has been on the receiving end of all of those beatings, as he does pick up the second dragon. And BLG, really without a contest, they don't even attempt to hit the dragon. Instead, are just gonna go for the herald, but this isn't even gonna kill the turret. So BLG with a very meager couple of plates here as their reward after the Drake is taken by Weibo.
Yeah, I was curious to see if BLG were trying to get in to just block Weibo Gaming from rotating as quickly over to the mid lane. It's kind of a half and half play, not really successful, but if you're a BLG fan, I think you're very grateful that BLG just didn't send it unnecessarily. One of the things that we've talked about for BLG before this series was when they were
members of BLG, such as Viper and even Shun, I would say, who's getting a little less tanky as the minutes go by.
Gotta be a little careful in this area, but he's trying to
Go.
link up with On for the collapse, and Elk using the killer instinct, but he's hit,
Oh,
put
it
it
doesn't
back
get
in
him over
by
the wall!
On, but can no one get in there? Heroic entrance. Actually, it's the Grim Deliverance from Bin. Looks for Elk. Just one more on attack. The flash committed forward. BLG put everything into shutting down Elk's Kaisa, and the rest of Weibo Gaming is starting to collapse around his corpse. Zika, nowhere else to run, has a flash available, but trying to use this science health bar as much as possible. Gets jumped on by Shun. The rest of BLG trying to follow up on the play. Decimating smash at the ready. Maybe it was a little too far for BLG. The goal deficit has been shored up off of a great pick from BLG, but Weibo Gaming still have numbers in supply on this mid lane.
Yeah, BLG, credit where credit is due. I thought the play was not going to go their way because we saw On really commit to trying to stick onto Elk, and Elk was maneuvering that fight very, very well, but then Bin arrives on the end up just Grim Deliverances over the wall, and yeah, Elk can't cover the distance.
The TP was bought with enough time from BLG to stall. BLG top laner makes it happen. Looks like, though, in the live, Weibo Gaming are able to take out this tier 1 turret. Gives them a little bit more access to map control. Yeah, oh, Zika. I don't know where Zika dropped, but a decent trade. Maybe it was on the top side of the map. Weibo Gaming exchanges life for map control. But now BLG starting to push into this top side jungle quadrant with vision control.
And Salt in the Wound there from Shun manages to steal away the big chicken. And he steals away the Krugs. A majority of them, at least. I think JJ might have gotten a couple of small ones. That's just wounding the jungler pride right there. Needed if BLG really want to return to the heights that they saw.
And for Weibo Gaming on the other side, they are starting to try and show their power once they have this lead. JJ trying to jump on the Shun, but there is no damage done. Just an excellent use of that Aegis Assault. And he blocks all the incoming damage, and Jeje on this Aatrox. We said it before, 2 items should be the strongest point for an Aatrox jungle at this point. Gets no value whatsoever. Now Weibo have to flip on this Baron, even without a smite from their jungler.
Yeah, Weibo, I mean, they can look to try and fight here, but On still has his ultimate, so he can just play bodyguard here for so long. Knight is also on the side, so he's ready to ult in if things go dicey.
Zika's trying to create space right now, but as long as you just get it down to critical moment, Shun can secure the Baron with the smite. Arha on the left side looks for the Pop Blossom into the back line. Viper might be in trouble. Viper is executed by Xiaohu, but the heroic entrance from Knight allows him to reposition and replay with his team. Bin is getting dropped low, but doesn't die quite yet. Great scatter of the week. Elk looks for the killer instinct, finds the Zahan in the back line, and now Elk has to play with everything he's got left in the tank. Looks for Shun, but it's a Comet Spear that puts him down.
No mana!
Xiaohu, no mana to be able to unleash orbs. Only has one more left, and Zika tries to run Shun out, but he's too fast. Jeje arrives back to the play, and Knight might not be able to make it out of this one. Shun, you're crazy. You're crazy, Shun. Shun, you're crazy. But Xiaohu, like you said, he has no mana, so he has to flash away from the Pantheon. And Knight, don't tell me he makes it away from this Jeje Aatrox. No, whoa, I thought the Grand Starfall was about to be used. Oh my goodness, this game
He's gonna do it!
Is crazy. TP, they want Xiaohu. Scatter the weak is available, but he has Aegis to block that damage. BLG bide their time, and they make the great punish.
Shun and Knight walk up to secure the kill. They don't want to let Xiaohu get away, and now the death timers are super desynced on the side of Weibo. They're all respawning, but they don't have a mid laner. Dragon is up in 10 seconds or so, and BLG are getting all onto the map, and Knight's in trouble.
Knight has the stasis, blocks the Pop Blossom, and oh boy, Weibo Gaming just lost 2 members total. JJ was the first one to fall. Zika arrives with the unstoppable onslaught, and Elk is able to burn down On's Alistar, but the dragon has spawned Quacks, and Weibo Gaming now, once again, they don't have their jungler up to contest for this objective.
Yup, they don't have an Aatrox. They are completely in favor of getting this Drake, denying the soul from Weibo. The win
gets caught, allows BLG to get the Baron, and then is caught again, denying what should have been a Hextech soul. Zika forced to use the unstoppable onslaught just to escape what was a pull from BLG and trying to make this pick. Tier 2 turret falls. Xiaohu makes some space, and Weibo Gaming are starting to slowly lose grasp on this game. Shun looking for Arha, Weibo Gaming right behind him. The Infernal Chains will pull him right back into the decimating smash. Shun gets dropped and loses the GA. Weibo Gaming, can they follow up? Arha reading the Pop Blossom, quick flash from Shun. Now On's into the back line. The heroic entrance is set up for a massive knockup. JJ caught out once again! This Aatrox has got no value whatsoever, and BLG are punishing every single time. The rest of Weibo are down to 3. What can BLG do for the rest of the death timers here?
They don't have a Baron buff up, and Xiaohu is still available, but I don't think the wave clear from him is going to be enough to stop BLG from at least knocking down this inhibitor in the mid lane and potentially moving on to the top side, as that wave is also incoming. Bin working in that lane to try and free space up over there. But yeah, these fights are just so difficult for the Aatrox to play out. He's not tanky enough, really, even with the World Ender, even with the extra bit of healing that you get off of popping that ultimate. He isn't in a position where he can actually withstand the pressure.
BLG are starting up the Baron once again with all 5 members of Weibo ready to collapse. Knight pushing on the bot side, has TP ready. Blast Cone already expended by Bin.
They immediately peel off the Baron. JJ's over the pit. I think they're just going to try to focus on it, but the rest of Weibo are here.
On's on Sikon! That's not the target that you want! On goes down for nothing! Weibo Gaming are able to collapse onto the support, and now it's their turn to maybe look at the Baron. But there's a super minion wave pouring through mid. Knight already collapsed in using the teleport. Weibo Gaming have gotten a variety of spells already burned by BLG. You can just take it slow and go towards the Hextech Soul that is now spawned.
It's 4v5. Knight is really the only solid frontliner that BLG have at this point. My eyes are on Viper. He's got the flash. He's got the transcendence. It's his time to unleash.
Pop Blossom misses. Knight is able to dodge it out. Shun goes into the backline with the
Viper
Grand
on the
Star
side.
Ball. It is completely crazy, but Xiaohu's the first one to drop. Viper assassinated him. JJ is being popped. Grim Deliverance over the side. Elk is forced out of the fight. Shun dies to JJ. The World Ender. Can he secure the exit zone before it goes down? And BLG thrive in the chaos when it matters most and upset Weibo's chances.
Zika, he's going to ult away. He's going to take a train ride over to Narnia, because going back to his base, that's a risk in and of itself. Knight is on the flank.
Flash taunt onto Elk. Good night to the Kaisa. And BLG are going to take this wave, push it into the base. We'll see how far they can go. On is preventing Zika from being able to base. I don't know if it will be enough for BLG to end the game, but they're going to try, Quacks. They want to look for the sweep. They want to start off this final last 2 series off strong. Bin takes out the last Nexus turret. Arhog takes out 1. Knight and Bin just have to hit. You have to let them hit. Arhog can't do anything to stop them. Bin is playing with fire. JJ has respawned with World Ender. Can't look for it. BLG sweep Weibo.